Welcome to episode 5 of my Granny Square series, where I'm showing you all the cards in the Granny Square deck. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly if you're new, and welcome back to episode 5 of my Granny Square series. In this series, I'm showing you all the cards that are in the Granny Square deck. So this week we are doing 9 and 10. I'm also going to show you, because like I said, this week's Granny Squares were, the color change was outrageous. So I wanted to show you. I almost finished my Granny Square lovey, so I thought I'd share that with you. Cards first, because that's why you're here. So 9 is half and half. So if you remember last week, I'll show you. So it's just the Granny Square version of the half and half and the quartered. And now it's the solid of the Granny Square, the half and half and the quartered. I did something crazy. What's new? I made, because I wanted to do small ones or big ones for the flowers, I thought let's do these super complicated ones really tiny. So here is the half and half. I still think it's so cute. It's still a little square, and then the half and half. And then I don't have to do 5 rows of it. But they're still really cute, and I like how they came out. I like how they turned out. I do use the exact same color. So next week, I will switch colors. I'm leaning towards like greens and oranges, just because we're starting to get into fall, and stuff like that. So, and then 9 and 10 of the stitches is a block stitch and a V-stitch. Some of these I have had a lot of trouble with, like understanding, but I think I've gotten the hang of them, because these two came out very nicely and I kind of just sailed through them. So the block stitch, you can see the little block, it makes little blocks. And then I think I figured out what I was doing wrong with because this turned out pretty good, I think. I think it needs a little stretch, so blocked, right? I'm not going to block them. I'm not going to do that. Because why? Why do something that you're supposed to do to make it better? I don't remember what this one was called. The V-stitch, okay. So I did this one in the solid color, and it's upside down, and I'll have to remember that. If you can see the little, so there's a double, and then a chain, and then a double, and it makes little bees. That's so cute. It almost looks like a little basket, and that's cute. So those are 9 and 10 of the stitches. And yes, eventually we will weave in all of our ends, probably before the end of the year when we make our chaos blanket. But let's be honest, that's not the fun part of this, and it's chaos over here, and I may not get to that. So at the end of the year, when we're putting together our chaos blanket, it may still have all the loose ends. And that's just going to have to be okay. It's going to have to be okay. This one I will have to weave in the end. So this is my Granny Square lovey. So you see, it's just a Granny Square, and I made it bigger than I normally do. So usually I make it like 12 by 12. And this one I think ended up to be like 15 by 15, which I really like, because then there's more for the kid to grab hold of. So I decided to make this one a little bare, instead of, I was gonna make it into Grogu, but I realized I have one out in my storage, so I don't need a second one. So I put a brown border around it, and I'm gonna make it into a bear. But first, I thought it would be a good idea. I'm gonna readjust the camera and show you how I turn it into the lovey. So I got the little arms and the head. Let's adjust this really quick so you can see. It'll cut off my head a little bit, that's okay. So I take the corner of it, and then, so I find like a little section that it can kind of hold on to. Does that make sense? Right there, I think is good. And then I'm gonna sew those on. And then I'll sew the head onto the top. So, and with these, I try and use, I'm gonna show you the back so you can see. So I use the holes and the little spaces. And then it becomes almost invisible when you do that. And then that's all it needs, is just to hold it on so that it can wrap around the blanket. And I'll fasten that one off, do the other one, and then we'll sew the head on. These were the only ones I used to make. I don't remember why. I do remember why I stopped. I found Mama Made Bennies. And if you don't know what Mama Made Bennies little things are, you're living under a rock. No offense, but I feel like, why do you not know? Why do you not know? But they make the cutest little loveys, snugglers. I don't even know what they would be called anymore. So I went like super crazy, and I've made pretty much a bunch. I don't want to say all of them because there's too many to make all of them. And that looks crazy, but I promise, once you put the little cute head on, it is going to be adorable. I even made Blanky from my Brave Little Toaster. The problem is that ages me, if you know what I mean, and not everybody's gonna know what the Brave Little Toaster is and who Blanky is, and so there's that. Okay, so now the head, so I leave the tail in the very center, and then it goes on top, and it'll go through that same hole and through. So you see how I've done that? Super, super, super easy. Just make it a tiny little head. I use a head from a previous pattern that I had, and I kind of just altered. I've made an elephant before, and that one was really popular, and I made a Highland cow for a friend, and so and you gotta make sure you go through it a couple of times just to make sure that the head, because the baby is going to, or the toddler, or whoever, is probably going to drag it around a lot. So We want to make sure that it will hold up, right? Hold up through baby things. All right, that should be good. And we'll just close it off, weave in the ends. And then you've got this cute little, I know, don't judge the ends, but I will definitely weave in the ends for this one. And then, here, let me go back. Let me readjust the camera so you can see. There we go. There we go. See, isn't that so cute? Because now they'll drag it around. I think I've even made a squid one, and it was like in the center. So sometimes I put it in the center. So it's like this. I did the squid one, and it had the little tentacles and stuff like that. So they were doing like an under the sea for their baby. So I think that turned out real good. I'm real happy. Yeah. So that's our granny square things, the episode 5. Next week we'll do 11 and 12. I'm really excited about it. I should have brought my cards to show you, but I didn't, of course. And they're diagonal, and I'm really excited about those. And I think that one is the last one where I show you. So let me get into my drawer. So the previous ones will be like one week will be, one set of cards will be the granny square, and then the next will be the same pattern but with the solid. I think next week is the last one where there's the granny square and then the solid. So I'm real happy to be moving forward from that. It makes it very easy to know what's going on, but I'm ready for flowers. I want to get to the flowers. I'm determined to keep in order, though. So that's what we got. That's what we got for this week. And we'll see you again next week. Bye.